All right, we're back. I know I just did a video on Mikuni carb swap on one of these Predators, but the old man just picked him up a Manco American Express that's identical to the boys. So he bought a bunch of parts, and I basically am going to show you guys a stage 1 kit on one of these. And which is basically going to be carb exhaust, probably bypassing the governor, and one of these TAV30 torque converters, which will move it out pretty good. So I'm going to show you everything to do. Like, say you wanted to buy one of these, you can build this whole thing. You can build a stage 1 for less than $300, give or take, depending on where you're buying your parts. So what we're going to do on this one is basically tear this thing completely apart. And this is the Hemi, by the way. And they changed the part numbers on these. It used to be like a 60, 63 or 60, 63 or something. Now they're 69730. So if you guys are looking for, I recommend getting the Hemi heads, just because if you do want to tear into these cases and actually do built flywheels and all that stuff to them, maybe do a head job, port and polish. If you're going to do that, the Hemi heads are the better ones to have. The aftermarket support for them is slightly better than the other ones. So if you're going to build one of these, I would suggest just getting the Hemi head. You might as well. They don't cost any more or less. You know, they're the same. So just look up the part number 69730 and this will be it. So let's get started tearing this thing apart. All right, let's set some of this stuff to the side and we'll start stripping her down. This is also great when you got a brand new engine to work with and you don't got fuel and oil in it. So I mean, normally if you wanted to, you could split the case open, split this case open and then get the governor up out of there, but it's really not necessary, because then once you pull it out, then you got to run a bolt through the block. So usually I just use a spring and I'll just pin it so it can't move, or you just pin it to where it's wide open. So I'll do that, and then once you're bypassing this carb anyways, the governor is not even attached, so you're good. And just be careful if you're bypassing the governor on these without a billet flywheel and a cam and a rod at least in it, then you are going to be close to like shotgunning one of these things. I've never done it, but as long as you're not holding the RPM maxed out for a long period of time, if it's just short bursts, you're fine. These things will last a long time. So I mean, in no particular order, just start tearing. Damn it. Might as well throw all that away. You don't need that. Oh, what's the hold up here? Oh, breather hose. Get a screwdriver. There we go. Take your air box off. We don't need that where we're going. Now you're gonna pull all your linkage off. Well, I guess we could take the fuel tank and stuff off. I'll get that out of the way. Don't know if this is gonna work. Oh, we'll just set that to the side for now. Let's throw your nuts back on here so you don't lose them. You'll need to reuse your header bolt nuts, because we'll end up cutting this flange off and then just reusing this flange and then making our own pipe. It's a lot cheaper than, and all the header pipes you get are just, that's it. I mean, you're paying a lot of money for a piece of pipe. It's not that hard to make. And we'll just say move that. Different sized. You know, maybe someday the rest of the world will just get on the proper page and start using standard. You know, it's not like the standard system didn't send men to the moon or win 2 world wars, you know. But what do I know, right? Oh, don't lose your little rubber O-rings here. You'll want to put those back on for vibration. Oh, these things suck. Finally. Here I said don't lose them, and I'm losing them. Then your bolt, just run it back in there, so, or in the block, I guess, if you want, but that way you keep everything together. All right. Now, this thing here, is your low oil sensor. Now, if you're going to put this on any kind of moving vehicle, like a go-kart, mini bike, whatever you're going to do with this, you have got to take this off and bypass it, because as soon as you go hard in a turn or you're bouncing around a lot, it's going to send the oil sloshing around in here, and it's going to sense it, and it's going to cut your motor off, and you're going to be really irritated. So these are real simple. All you got to do is unhook them. Pull that one. Now the rest of these wires, this is your kill switch. You're going to want to leave that on. This one here, if you're not going to pull all the way out, the sensor out of there, then you can just leave it hang. It's not hurting anything. But this will still kill your motor even if you take this off. So that's good to go. Take this right here and you go Kobe. All right. Get that out of the way. I just usually leave that plate on there. It's not that big a deal. But basically all this stuff, if you're gonna switch to one of these Makunis, then you can basically throw all this in the trash because you don't need any of it. So just start unhooking. Now this arm here, that's your governor arm. So if you're not gonna, you might as well just pin this. Usually what I'll do is, because as this thing is running, it's popping the throttle back on you. So usually what I do is just hook a spring and I just tie it up over here and just hold it tight. It's fine. It's still bypassing the governor. Now these springs on here, like that one you won't need, but you can just throw that away. But you might as well save this spring because you could use it to pin your governor arm. And then these just pop right off. No problems there. So there you go. Throttle linkage is all off. Pull the rest of your fuel line out. We're gonna now on our application, we're gonna have to make some brackets for this fuel tank. So we're not putting it back on here. You could do that. That wouldn't be that big a deal. But in our application, we're gonna have to raise the tank to clear the seat. So we're actually going to have to end up making some brackets for this fuel tank, but I want to get it set on there and where it's going to set before I do those. So there's your stock 20 or 22 millimeter or whatever size these are. I think they're 22s. I mean, they work all right. They're power robbing and they tend to not want to run after a while. Pull your other cover. Now these studs you're going to have to get off. Usually what I find that works about the best is just a pair of vice grips. I mean, you might need the strength of Atlas to actually turn these, but which I do not have. Oh, what do you know? That one actually came off. You can go ahead and throw those in the trash too, unless you're like me and you're a pack rat and you just save everything. Wow, these are like the easiest ones I've ever taken off. All right. And that right there is about as stripped as I'm going to go with it. I mean, like I said, if you really wanted to, you could split the case open and then get in here and take this governor off. You'll have to run a bolt through the sensor over here. And there's a little plastic gear in there, you just pop it out. And now would be the time to do it when there ain't no oil in it, but I'm not even going to worry about that. So let's just go ahead and, we'll at least get the carb put back on, and then get the carb on and probably put our torque converter on. And then we'll have to, like I said, we're going to have to make brackets for the fuel tank. And then we'll still have to make our header pipe yet. But, all right. Now these kits come, this kit that I bought in particular pretty much comes with everything you need to install this. And I do have another video on my channel for where we swap one of these out on the boys cart. And I actually go a little more in depth on taking it apart and rejetting it. I like to start with like a 125, depending on your build. Like a 125 will run pretty good, so that's a good starting point to either add or take away fuel. So, but that's what I'd recommend. Start with the 125. If you get one of these kits that come with the jets, and you get a whole bunch of jets, so you can play with it and get it to where you need it to be. So these, and then they'll come with the bolts and another gasket. Now on these, they're, if you can see it, but these are not round. They're kind of deep. They're a D shape, and you got to make sure on these. There's these notches on there. I don't know if you guys can see them, but you want to make sure those are going to that D side for those corners. You don't want to flop that around the other way. You're going to have flow issues. And then the ones that are going into the head, they give you 4 bolts. But you want to use the shorter ones, because the outside two that mount the carburetor to this is actually going through that and that. So you put the shorter ones on the inside. And let me find an Allen that goes to these, because I don't remember the size. There she be. Well, this has still got the gasket on there, and we never heard it, so we're just going to leave that gasket on. These intakes are nice, but these bolts are not that easy to get in here and tighten. But sometimes you can get in here. Nope, it's not having it. Oh, these suck. Or my Allen wrench just sucks. Which that could be a good possibility. I have to get a pipe. You know, every shop should have a few, you know, tiny pipes lying around for some leverage. Okay, that seems tight enough. Alright, now our carburetor. I don't think I'm going to put the throttle cable on yet. I'm going to wait till we probably have it on the cart before I do that. And this has already got an O-ring on it. So there's really no need for the seals on there. You don't really need another one. Just line her up. And these slots, these are slotted so you can slightly turn it. You also want to make sure this thing is centered on here because you want your hole to line up. Just get a wrench. Let's see, is it the elusive 10 millimeter? That it is. The back of these nuts are knurled, so it should keep them from backing off. Righty tighty, lefty stupid. There she be. I just like to stick the vent down there. There we go. Out of sight, out of mind. All right. Guess we can go ahead and throw our filter on here, even though we're going to tear this apart. But I just wanted to show you guys. We just won't tighten her up. There she be. 1 VM22 Mikuni carburetor. All right. Zip tie or keyway. All right. Depending on where you buy these, as you can see, ours is not tight. This is just how I got it. So you're gonna want to impact that on. Make sure you impact that on. You don't want to trust your hand because this thing spins. So you're gonna need to impact that. Which I might fire up the air compressor and it's gonna be extremely loud. Now that that loud ass air compressor went off. Just torque her down. It's got that nylon nut on there, she'll hold. Alright. Oh, now I should mention that these kits, depending on which ones you buy, sometimes they'll come with 35 chain and 41 420 chain, and it came with the 41 420 sprocket on there, so, and that's what we're going to run on this. So, but if you were going to use 35 chain on your application, then you probably really need to make sure you put the right one on, or you'll be taking this apart. They're not that bad chain. Just take that nut off, this slides off, and that'll slide out. But and then these, you might have to do some clearance, because a lot of these never fit right. To find your holes. I think I've had to grind like almost every one of these I've put on. Oh, that's not good. That's not good, man. Let's pull that off. I think we're gonna have to take a lot off this. Oh yeah. So that brace right there is right in the way, and it's rubbing right on your oil, one of your oil fills. So we're not grinding that, but we're gonna have to grind this. I don't know why they always end up like this, but yeah, it's just, yeah. We're going to have to take that whole thing off. I mean, it's not going to hurt it at all, so. We'll just have to do some cutting and grinding. Let me move y'all for a second. Hold your horses. I'm coming. I'm coming. Got to get them freaking peeper savers and the digit savers. All right. I would say let's sling some sparks, but this is aluminum. It's not going to spark. Don't do that, folks. Ah, she's good. Don't tell Dad. Alright, and there's plenty of holes on this, but once you go to line it up, you'll see there's basically only one option. Take your bolts. Make sure you check them too, because they gave me other bolts and the thread pattern wasn't the same. And these, I'll impact these in too. Don't want your clutch coming loose on you. Hey, now it's not going to sit level, but that's installing that. Now for your clutch, or for the driven pulley, or no, driver. Yeah, driver, driven. So our driver pulley, we're probably going to have to put a spacer. It comes with spacer, a washer, then your outside piece. Let's see how that does. You want to make sure you line your belts up. No manners. No manners. Boy, that's rough. I hope that's right, because, boy, that was tight. So, we want this face and this face to be flush with each other. That does not look right. Go ahead and add the washer. I don't think that's even going to be enough, to be honest, where that's sitting. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. It's a little off, but not much. And make sure you put your copper idler sleeve on there for the belt. These wear out really quick, but they're fairly inexpensive when you need to replace them. Then your belt. Always got this side of the engine. Either way, even if it don't have that, just always put the flat side to the inside on these anyways. Some other torque converters might be different. And then your beveled side goes to the outside. Just like that. And then take your drive pulley, and then these already have keyways in them, so just make sure you put it on this way, just like so. Then you take your other washer, and it's got a keyway slot too. Line that up. And your bolt. Make sure you drive this in with an impact as well. There you go. One TAV30 torque converter put together. Ready to rip. Alrighty, I'm gonna opt for the old way, a little hacksaw, because I like a clean cut on these. I just get all the way up, butt it up to the weld. Woo! That was way harder than I remember it. Woo! Alright. Now just clean all that up, and then you got yourself the start of a header. Just gonna lop it right in the center there. There you go. One header pipe. Or one header pipe. Although you got to make a plate for this. But I got this piece. Alright. Little unibit action. Made it. Battery was dying, but it made it. Put that on the old charger. All right. Turn that welder up. There you go. One warped base plate. Now we need to figure out exactly where we want to do that. Put the other pipe. Try to prop that up. Somewhere in there. This isn't rocket science. Yeah, that'll work. It ain't gotta be pretty, y'all. This stuff's really thin anyways. But we're gonna grind all this up anyways. Alright, there you go. One stage, one kit. Predator 212. Exhaust. And then torque converter all mounted up. Got the exhaust all done. We'll paint that. And then Makuni all installed. And then keep you guys up to date with the rest of it. But